Deep within you lies a version of yourself the world has yet to encounter, a version untainted by fear, unshaken by threats, and unbound by the opinions of others. This is the self that refuses to bend, the one that stands tall when the world demands you kneel. Right now, that version is buried beneath layers of doubt, guilt, and the countless lies society has fed you to keep you compliant. They told you to be kind, to be patient, to trust without question. But those were not lessons in virtue. They were chains forged to control you. Centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of power and strategy, saw through this game. He understood that society rewards the tame, the predictable, and the obedient, while it seeks to crush those who dare to be dangerous. Yet, inside you burns a colder, sharper self, a self that cannot be broken, cannot be controlled, and cannot be stopped. When you awaken this hidden version of yourself, the world shifts beneath your feet. You stop chasing the fleeting approval of others, which is nothing more than a trap disguised as acceptance. You cease explaining your choices, your actions, or your thoughts to those who have no claim to your soul. You stop playing by the unfair rules of a world that has never played fair with you. This transformation is not about becoming cruel or heartless. It's about becoming untouchable. The moment you embrace this side of yourself, you shed the role of prey. You stop being a pawn in someone else's game. You cease being weak. Instead, you become a force so formidable that no one dares to cross you. If you're ready to awaken this unstoppable version of yourself, commit to this journey, stay with me, and let every step forward remind you of the power you're capable of wielding. There is a part of you that has no place in this new reality, the soft, compliant side that society nurtured to keep you in line. This is the side that apologizes when you've done no wrong, that bends over backward to keep others comfortable, that fears being disliked more than it fears being controlled. Machiavelli would tell you, with unflinching clarity, that this version of you must die. The world does not reward kindness without strength. It devours it. People don't admire your selflessness. They exploit it. They don't respect your patience. They drain it until you're empty. Every time you give without strategy, every time you forgive without consequence, you send a signal of weakness. And in a world full of predators, that signal is a beacon, drawing those who seek to use you. The first step to becoming untouchable is not about building new strengths. It's about dismantling the weaknesses that make you vulnerable. You must strip away every habit, every impulse that leaves you open to attack. Stop explaining yourself. Your soul is not a public forum for others to dissect. Stop chasing approval. Their praise is a leash designed to pull you back into submission. Stop believing promises, for people lie when it serves their interests, and power is built on expecting their deceit. You are not here to be agreeable, to nod along, or to make others feel safe. You are here to be unmovable, a force that stands firm no matter the storm. This transformation is not a gentle process. It feels like war, because it is one. You are not just fighting external forces, you're battling the part of yourself that was conditioned to obey. From childhood, society trained you to be good, but their definition of good is synonymous with harmless, and nothing is more dangerous to your survival than being harmless. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on the loyalty of others, and you must apply that same principle to your own emotions. The heart that urges you to trust blindly will lead you into traps. The compassion that drives your generosity can be weaponized against you. These impulses don't need to be eradicated entirely, but they must be disciplined, tempered, and controlled so that no one can exploit them. The path to becoming untouchable requires you to confront a dark truth. When you stop being easily hurt, people will label you cold. When you refuse to be controlled, they'll call you arrogant. When you reject their rules, they'll brand you as evil. Let them. These labels are the desperate tools of the weak, hurled in an attempt to shame you back into submission, but you are no longer swayed by their judgments. The weak version of yourself, the one that bends, apologizes, and seeks validation, must be put to rest. If you don't kill it, it will kill you slowly, handing your life to anyone bold enough to take it. The new version of you must be a fortress, impenetrable and unyielding, No one enters without your permission. No one sees your emotions unless you choose to reveal them. You remain calm when they expect anger, silent when they demand explanations, and ruthless when they assume you'll forgive. This is not about cruelty, it's about freedom. When you embody this fortress-like strength, you become dangerous in the eyes of those who thrive on control. You become free in a way they cannot comprehend. To build this fortress, you must reject the instincts that make you vulnerable. Stop reacting impulsively. Every reaction is a crack in your armor. Instead, calculate. When someone attacks you, don't lash out. Study them. What are their motives? What do they fear? Every insult, every slight, is a piece of information you can use to outmaneuver them. Stop seeking to be understood. The need for others to get you is a chain that binds you to their approval. The fortress mind is silent, revealing nothing, letting others stew in their confusion. When they can't predict you, they can't control you. You must also train yourself to embrace discomfort. Weakness thrives in comfort, crumbling the moment hardship arrives. Seek out challenges deliberately. Fast when you could eat, work when you'd rather rest. Say no when your emotions scream yes. The more you master discomfort voluntarily, the less power it holds over you when it's forced upon you. As Machiavelli wrote, "A prince who depends on fortune is doomed. A prince who disciplines himself controls fortune itself." Train now, so the world cannot catch you off guard later. Becoming untouchable comes with a price. People will misjudge you, fear you, and resent you. They'll call you cold, distant, or ruthless. These are not insults. They are proof of your transformation. The world fears what it cannot control, and your refusal to bend makes you a threat. Embrace the labels, for they are the badges of your independence. The fortress you've built is not just a shield, it's a statement. It declares that you are no longer prey, no longer a tool for others' agendas. You are a force that commands respect, not through loud displays, but through the quiet certainty of your strength. This journey is not about isolating yourself, it's about liberating yourself. You can still engage with the world, form alliances, and build relationships, but you do so on your terms. No one has access to your core unless you grant it. No one can manipulate you because you've stripped away the levers they once used. You are calm, calculated, and unyielding, and in that lies your power. This is the essence of the untouchable self, a mind that cannot be swayed, a will that cannot be broken, and a presence that no one dares to challenge. If you're ready to continue this transformation, to build this fortress brick by brick, stay committed, revisit these principles when doubt creeps in. When the world tempts you to soften, the path to power is not a moment, it's a way of life. Keep forging the untouchable version of yourself, and let the world learn what it means to face someone who cannot be stopped. You've killed the weak version of yourself. Now you must construct something unbreakable in its place, not a wall of anger or pride, but a fortress of discipline and calculation. Machiavelli warned rulers never to rely on physical fortresses alone. The real security is in a fortified mind. Step 1. Stop reacting. Start calculating. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They're provoked, and they explode. They're insulted, and they defend. They're tempted, and they obey. This is weakness disguised as humanity. The fortress mind doesn't react. It measures. When someone attacks you, study them. What do they want? Why now? What do they fear if you don't respond? Every insult, every slight, every threat is information. Use it to understand your enemies, instead of giving them the satisfaction of seeing you bleed. Step 2. Eliminate the need to be understood. The craving to be understood is an invisible chain. You explain yourself, hoping for approval. You reveal your thoughts, hoping for connection. But the more you expose, the easier it is to control you. The fortress mind is silent. It does not broadcast intentions, fears, or plans. Let others live in confusion. When they can't predict you, they can't trap you. Step 3. Train for discomfort. Weak people break because they've built lives around comfort. The moment hardship arrives, they panic. You must do the opposite. Seek discomfort deliberately, fast when you can eat. Work when you'd rather rest. Say no when your emotions beg you to say yes. The more pain you master voluntarily, the less power pain has over you when it's forced upon you. Machiavelli would say, "A prince who depends on fortune is doomed. A prince who disciplines himself controls fortune itself." In other words, train now so the world can't surprise you later. Step 4. Redefine betrayal. The fortress mind expects betrayal. It is not shocked when allies turn, when friends reveal themselves as enemies, when family lets you down. Most people fall apart because they believe loyalty is permanent. It isn't. People are loyal only until it's no longer profitable for them. Accept this as law. When someone betrays you, they are only being human. Your preparation ensures you lose nothing when it happens. Step 5. Weaponize patience. The strongest man is not the one who strikes first. It's the one who waits until the strike matters. The fortress mind is not impulsive. It is strategic. It can endure disrespect without responding immediately, because revenge served cold is always more effective. When you wait, you make them comfortable. When you make them comfortable, they make mistakes, and when they make mistakes, you own them. When you build this inner fortress, the world changes how it treats you. People can sense when you are no longer desperate for approval. They can feel when you are immune to manipulation. This terrifies them. They will try to provoke you, test you, lure you back into old habits. You will give them nothing. No anger, no explanation, no reaction. That is power, real power. Not the kind you have to announce, but the kind they recognize instinctively. You become the one person no one dares to push, because nothing they try works. The fortress mind does not isolate you. It liberates you. You can engage with people without fear, because no one has access to your core. They can attack your name, your money, your image, but they can't touch you. A fortress mind protects you from being controlled, but protection alone is not enough. Machiavelli understood that power must be projected outward. If you merely defend yourself, people will keep testing your walls. If you project fear, they stop attacking altogether. This is how you deal with manipulators, enemies, and anyone foolish enough to challenge you. 1. Never fight battles they choose. Manipulators will provoke you into conflicts on their terms. They will spread rumors, bait you with insults, or lure you into emotional reactions. If you meet them head-on in public, you fight on their battlefield, and even if you win, you look desperate. The Machiavellian way is to stay silent, let them believe you're passive, and then strike at the moment of your choosing. Destroy their credibility quietly. Remove their resources without announcing it. Make their allies doubt them until they stand alone. When you move, it feels less like a fight and more like fate closing in. 2. Become unreadable. Manipulators need information. They watch your face, your tone, your habits. The more you reveal, the easier it is for them to pull strings. So you give them nothing. Do not explain why you made a decision. Do not reveal who you trust. Do not share what angers you when you are unreadable. Every move you make feels calculated, even if it isn't. They grow paranoid. They make mistakes. They imagine dangers that don't exist. Fear is most powerful when it comes from uncertainty. 3. Reward loyalty coldly. Punish betrayal colder. Power is maintained not by being liked, but by making people understand that betrayal has a cost. This does not mean open threats. Open threats invite rebellion. The Machiavellian way is quiet punishment. If someone crosses you, cut them off completely, not with drama, but with finality. No warning, no second chance, no conversation. They're simply erased from your world. For those who remain loyal, do not smother them with gratitude. Show calm recognition. Keep them guessing whether your favor is permanent. People value rewards more when they are uncertain. They'll keep them. 4. Divide and control. Your enemies will try to unite against you. Stop them before it happens. Machiavelli advised rulers to pit factions against each other. You must do the same socially. Subtly spread doubt between potential threats. If two people could combine forces to challenge you, make sure they distrust each other before they ever meet. A divided enemy is harmless. 5. Let your strength be rumored, not displayed. The modern fool flaunts his power, shouts about his wins, posts every success, threatens loudly. This creates targets. Machiavelli understood that power is strongest when it is felt, not advertised. When you move, move quietly. When you win, let others whisper about it. Rumor makes you seem larger than life. People fear shadows more than they fear swords. When you project cold strength, manipulators avoid you entirely. They target the weak instead. Enemies think twice before plotting because they don't know how you'll respond. You are no longer merely defending your fortress. You've made the surrounding land so hostile that no one dares approach. This is not cruelty for its own sake. It is strategy. By making yourself untouchable, you remove the need for constant conflict. You no longer waste energy fighting every petty challenge. The world simply learns this is not someone to test. Cold strength inside you is invisible unless you project it outward. A fortress mind is a weapon, but like any weapon, it only deters enemies if they know it's there. Machiavelli understood that rulers survive not just by power, but by reputation. If people believe you're dangerous, they won't even think about testing you. Your goal is to build an aura, a presence that radiates calm power, the kind that makes people think twice before crossing you. Here's how. 1. Speak less, mean more. People who talk constantly reveal their thoughts, their fears, their limits. The fewer words you use, the more weight each one carries. When you finally do speak, do it slowly, without emotion. Never rush to defend yourself. Never over-explain. People will begin to hang on every syllable and fear what you're not saying. 2. Never show desperation for anything. Desperation is blood in the water. The moment people sense you need money, approval, allies, or love, they gain power over you. Act as though nothing is urgent and nothing is vital, even if everything is on fire behind the walls. Machiavelli wrote that fear of losing power makes rulers weak. The same is true for you. The less you appear to need, the more powerful you seem. 3. Let mystery do the work. An aura is not built by shouting about your strength. It's built by letting others guess what you're capable of. Be visible enough that people notice you, but invisible enough that they can't figure you out. Show flashes of power without showing your full hand. If they know what you're capable of, they prepare for it. If they suspect you're capable of anything, they stay paralyzed. 4. Use small displays of ruthlessness. Reputation is shaped by stories. Machiavelli advised princes to make examples to punish just enough to keep others obedient, without causing open revolt. You must do the same. If someone crosses you publicly, do not rage, do not debate. Simply end their influence quietly, professionally, socially, or financially, in a way everyone notices. One calm, calculated act of discipline echoes louder than endless speeches about strength. 5. Control your image obsessively. The fortress mind protects you from inside attacks, but your aura is how the world judges you. Dress with precision. Move deliberately. Maintain eye contact, as if you have nothing to fear. Because you don't. Walk into rooms as though you own them. Even when you don't. People are primitive. They read posture and tone before they hear words. Machiavelli warned that it's safer for a ruler to be feared than loved. The same applies to you. Being loved makes you a servant to people's expectations. Being feared makes you free. The effect: when you project fear and authority correctly, you won't need to fight as often. People will handle you carefully, like a blade they can't tell is sharp until it's too late. Allies respect you more because they know where you stand. Enemies hesitate because they can't predict your moves. This is not arrogance, it's survival. The moment you stop signaling weakness, the scavengers leave. The moment you stop signaling need, manipulators vanish. The moment you carry yourself like a ruler, people instinctively treat you like one. When your aura is solid, you are no longer simply defending yourself. You dominate the space you occupy. The world whispers about you instead of questioning you. And when people whisper about your power, you've already won. Power that isn't permanent is no power at all. It's a costume. impressive for a moment, then stripped away by time, temptation, or betrayal. What you've built so far, the fortress mind, the ruthless discipline, the aura of calm strength, must now become unshakable, not a phase or a trick, but the way you exist in the world. Machiavelli knew that holding power is far harder than seizing it. One moment of carelessness, one lapse into softness, and everything collapses. To stay untouchable, you must live by standards that never bend. You decide now what is non-negotiable: your time, your respect, your principles, and you enforce those lines without apology or exception. If you break your own code once, the world will sense it and keep pushing until the fortress crumbles from the inside. Guard your circle as ruthlessly as you guard yourself. Those who stand beside you are either sharpening your edge or dulling it. The moment someone treats your loyalty as cheap, they've shown you who they are. Remove them quickly and without ceremony. Even kings fall when they allow the wrong people inside the gates. But the deadliest enemy isn't outside, it's comfort. Power breeds ease, and ease rots discipline. When the victories start piling up, when people finally fear disappointing you, you'll be tempted to relax, to think you've earned the right to drift. That is when you're most vulnerable. The wolves you beat back will keep circling, waiting for you to blink. You must train harder after each win, raise your standards when things are smooth, and act as though every day is an ambush, waiting to happen. Cold power must never sleep. Sometimes strength means stepping back. The untouchable man doesn't need to fill every room or fight every battle. When you withdraw strategically, people whisper and wonder. They can't read you, can't predict you, and in that uncertainty lies control. Machiavelli wrote that men fear what they cannot see, become the figure they can never fully grasp. Even those closest to you should never feel total ownership of your mind. Be warm enough to inspire loyalty, but distant enough that no one mistakes your favor for weakness. Let them earn your presence, again and again. When people believe they completely understand you, they grow careless. If they grow careless, they grow bold, and bold allies can become dangerous. Discipline must become your nature. The untouchable man doesn't act when he feels like it. He acts because it is his law. Mood is irrelevant. Anger, fatigue, loneliness, none of it matters. If you only stay sharp when it's easy, you'll dull at the first sign of pain. Train your mind and body to execute, regardless of how you feel. Routine replaces emotion. Principles replace impulse. This is how your power stops being fragile. When you live this way, strength is no longer a performance. It isn't something you switch on when challenged or fake when eyes are on you. It's constant, structural, unyielding. People will test you, but there is nothing to test. They will try to break you, but there is no seam to pry open. They will try to control you, but there's no handle to grab. They will try to stop you, but by the time they recognize your movement, it's already too late. This is the final stage. Cold power made permanent. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to prove it. It's in how you stand, how you speak, how you refuse to rush, how you refuse to need. It's in how you enforce your code, even when it costs you. It's in how you live, as though no one has permission to touch your mind. Machiavelli's wisdom was never about cruelty for its own sake. It was about survival in a ruthless world. And once you master these principles, you don't just survive, you reign. You become the man who cannot be broken, cannot be controlled, cannot be stopped. Power is not an accessory. It's not a mask you wear when it's convenient or a trick to pull when you need to impress someone. True power is what remains when the applause stops, when the crowd leaves, when no one is watching to reward you. Throughout this journey, we've torn down the weak version of you, the compliant, apologetic self that bent to others to avoid conflict. We built the fortress mind, trained it to stay calm when tested, ruthless when necessary. We crafted an aura that speaks louder than words, the kind of presence that makes people hesitate before ever thinking of crossing you, and then we locked it all into place, so that it's not a phase but a way of life. If you followed every step, you're no longer living for approval. You're no longer explaining yourself, no longer letting moods or fear dictate your decisions. You don't need to shout, threaten, or prove anything. People feel it when they're in the presence of someone untouchable. They sense the discipline, the standards, the silent confidence that doesn't rise or fall with anyone's opinion. That's the core of Machiavellian power. You have made yourself into someone who cannot be broken, controlled, or stopped. Not because you told the world, but because you built a life that makes it true. The world around you hasn't changed. It's still filled with people who lie, manipulate, or push boundaries to see what they can get away with. What's changed is you. The version of you that could be guilted, pressured, or tricked is gone. In its place stands someone who moves with precision, who chooses words like a weapon, who rewards loyalty but never depends on it, who disappears when it serves him and strikes only when he decides the moment is right. You've learned that you don't have to be cruel to be feared. You don't have to be loud to command respect. You don't have to play the games others play, because real power is not about controlling everyone else. It's about controlling yourself so completely that no one else ever gets the chance. This is what it means to be truly untouchable. You've cut off the handles people once used to move you. You've armored yourself against manipulation. You've stopped broadcasting weakness, stopped bleeding energy into people who don't deserve it. You've made your emotions serve your purpose, rather than letting them rule you, and you've accepted the cost. Because there is a cost. The world will always have something to say about you when you choose to rise above it. People will brand you as cold, distant, arrogant, or even evil. They'll fling these labels at you like stones, hoping to wound your resolve, to drag you back to a place where you're small, compliant, and easy to control. But let them talk. Their words are nothing but the desperate tools of those who lack the strength to stand where you stand. These labels are not truths. They're the weapons of the powerless, designed to shame you into submission, to make you question the path you've chosen. Don't fall for it. You owe no one your warmth, your obedience, or your explanations. Your only debt is to yourself, to the life you were meant to live, a life that demands unyielding strength, clarity, and purpose. Power is not a fleeting moment, not a burst of inspiration you feel after a rousing speech or a fleeting victory. It's not something you can put on like a mask when it suits you, or set aside when you're tired. Power is a posture, a way of being that defines every step you take, every word you speak, every choice you make. It's the unshakable discipline that keeps you standing tall when the world tries to push you down. You don't get to take a day off from this. The moment you let your guard slip, the moment you allow softness or complacency to creep back in, the world will sense it. It's like blood in the water. Those who seek to control or diminish you will swarm, testing your boundaries, probing for weaknesses. That's why this isn't a one-time lesson or a fleeting burst of motivation you absorb and forget. This is a blueprint for how you move through life every single day, quietly, with focus, with strategy, and with relentless determination. Living this way isn't easy at first. It requires you to confront the parts of yourself that crave comfort, approval, or the illusion of safety. It demands that you silence the inner voice that whispers for you to take the easy path, to bend just a little, to explain yourself to those who don't deserve your words. But as you commit to this path, something remarkable happens. The effort fades. The struggle becomes second nature. Discipline stops feeling like a burden and becomes the very foundation of who you are. You no longer have to force yourself to stay sharp, to say no, to hold your ground. It becomes as natural as breathing. You become the embodiment of strength, not because you're performing for an audience, but because you've forged a version of yourself that cannot be swayed, broken, or controlled. If these words resonate with you, don't let them slip away like another fleeting moment of inspiration. Don't let this be just another video or message you consume and forget. This is a call to action, a challenge to embed these principles into your life, to burn them into your routine until they're inseparable from who you are. When you feel yourself slipping, when the allure of comfort or the pull of old habits threatens to drag you back to a weaker version of yourself, revisit this message. Let it be a reminder of the fortress you're building within, a fortress that no one can breach, no matter how hard they try. This journey isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about choosing day after day to be the person who doesn't bend, who doesn't break, who doesn't bow to the pressures of a world that thrives on weakness. If you're truly committed to crafting this unyielding version of yourself, brick by brick, then don't walk away. Stay engaged. There's more to learn, more tools to sharpen, more strategies to master, and more unfiltered truths to uncover. The path to owning your life completely, to rising above the noise, the doubters, and the manipulators, requires constant vigilance and growth. It's not enough to hear this once and nod in agreement. You must live it, breathe it, and build upon it. Every step you take strengthens the foundation of the person you're becoming, the person who moves through the world with quiet confidence, who stays 2 steps ahead of those who underestimate you, and who commands respect without ever needing to demand it. If you're ready to embrace this ruthless discipline, to forge a life where you dictate your terms and no one else, then take action, hit that like button, and subscribe, not for anyone else, but for you. Each reminder, each lesson, each insight is another weapon in your arsenal, another tool to help you carve out the life you deserve. You've already come this far. Don't stop now. Keep building, keep refining, keep pushing forward. The world may never change, but you have, and that makes all the difference.